Hey, good morning, Force fans. How are we all? I hope you're all doing very well. It's been a chilly morning here in the UK, in sunny Wales, where I'm from. Um, this video is basically just me talking a little bit about our community, our Star Wars collecting community. I've only been doing this channel a couple of weeks. I've got this YouTube channel, I've got my Instagram Force Fan Wales channel, and I'm new to the game, so please bear with me while I just say this piece, if you don't mind. Basically, I'm noticing heavily quite a lot of anger and negativity in the TVC and the Black Series community. Some directed towards the other, some directed at prominent Hasbro faces, and also towards certain aspects of decision making within Hasbro. Now, I'm not going to defend Hasbro in the fact that they've definitely made mistakes in recent pricing. I get it. But what I will publicly stand against is the threats directed at Mr. Stevie 18, Steve Evans. I like Steve, don't know him personally. I follow him, I watch his YouTube discussions, every Sunday night. I like the guy. He's my kind of person. He loves toys. He grew up with the same lines that I played with, and he's got a lot of passion for the toys. He loves Star Wars, he loves Marvel. He's got a lot of passion, and rightfully he's in a very good job where he designs these products. What he doesn't do, though, and this is common knowledge, if anybody looks at his videos, looks at his posts, he's got nothing at all to do with pricing decisions, okay? But he's now come off Instagram. I don't know whether it's a permanent move or he's just taking a break, but he's had a lot of flack for the recent INT4 pricing issue for TVC. I've read some of the comments directed at him. I've seen some of the posts that the collecting community have put up, personally blaming this guy. Veiled threats, saying he shouldn't be in the job, blah, blah, blah. It's nasty. It's mean. And it's personal. Now, I know, you've got to have a strong back when you're putting your face out there in public, on especially on social media. Got to have a strong back. You've got to be able to take criticism. Now, you can take criticism if it's fair, if it's valid, and it's as a result of something that you've personally had a hand in, But in the case of this pricing issue, I don't believe Mr. Stevie is at fault whatsoever at all. I mean, the anger needs to be directed at Hasbro as a company for that decision. Now, I wholeheartedly believe that there was just a simple mistake made in regards to, you know, what was originally announced as the price, as opposed to what that price ultimately became. I think the price that it is now was meant to be the correct pricing anyway. Because if you look at the recent Geonosian Picador set from TVC, that was priced at pretty much the same level, I believe, as the INT4. So yeah, there was a mistake made, but that mistake isn't as a result of Mr. Stevie. Okay, so just leave that guy alone. Just leave him alone. You know, there's no need to be so nasty in your comments. You can be angry, and that anger is justified. You know, if it impacts your wallet, if it impacts your purse, absolutely justified. I get it. But personal attacks, that don't wash. That don't wash. But I've noticed a lot of that in the community, though. You know, the warring factions. You know, you've got arguments, you know, from within TVC against Black Series and vice versa. At the end of the day, we're all in this to collect Star Wars products, Star Wars figures, play sets. Both sides, both TVC and Black Series, they've both got strong elements about them. You know, you've got your TVC, where you've got the wonderful vehicles, you've got your wonderful play sets, you've got that world building aspect, you know, and that's really fun. That is really fun. You know, I can only imagine the joy that TVC collectors do get, where, you know, they got a bit of space, but they can fit a ship in, they can fit their troopers, their creatures, all in one diorama scene, you know, and then, you know, they do wonderful things with, like, you know, backdrops and just bases and stuff like that. It's beautiful. I've seen some work out there which is absolutely incredible, and I'm jealous of that because I generally collect Black Series. But on the other hand, with Black Series, I get a larger scaled figure, often detailed to the max, you know, superior articulation in a lot of cases, with, you know, butterfly joints, you know, double elbows, double knees, you know, ab crunches, you know, really strong facial likenesses, you know. But yeah, you know, I don't get a lot of opportunity for world building in that scale, granted, but we do get a fair amount of characters. Not as many as I'd like, but I've covered that plenty of times. But yeah, I just don't like the negativity that I'm seeing around, you know. And I'm not a mouthpiece for any community at all. This is just me spitballing with a, you know, with an opinion, really. Yeah, all right, okay. I might have ragged a little bit on the amount of clones that we've had in 2026, you know, and I know there are portions of the community that love the Clone Wars, and that's brilliant. You know, the Clone Wars is good. It is good. I'm only taking the piss because I'm kind of wanting more original trilogy characters. That is it. That is it, really. I'm not disparaging your love of Clone Wars, your love of clones, you know, the fact that you were brought up on the Clone Wars movie or the cartoon. You know, it's all great. We're all in this because we love Star Wars at the end of the day. You know, that's all that matters, is that we keep loving this keep loving Star Wars, and we keep supporting the line, both lines, you know. So I just want to do this video because I'm a little bit tired of the infighting, the arguing. You know, I know it's not going to stop as a result of this video. You know, it's going to go on. It's going to go on. But for me, I'm just going to be impartial as much as I can. You know, obviously my channel is more geared towards Black Series, but I'll always sing the praises of TVC. I do buy TVC, not nearly as much as I want to or have. I do own a couple of little bits and pieces, but anytime I see a new TVC item, especially, you know, when it looks like a lot of care and effort have gone into it, I absolutely love it. May not necessarily be able to buy it, but I will always sing the praises if it's good, you know. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we're all doing this as a hobby. You know, we're all loving what we do individually. You know, whether we're collecting, you know, to review figures, or we're collecting just for figure photography, you know, it's all great. It's all great. It's a collective community. Yeah, we can have disopinion, you know, we can have disagreements, and we can have differing opinions, but when it gets personal, you know, and it moves outside of why we're here, and that's when I get a little bit annoyed, and I get a little bit disheartened with the community in that respect. I mean, I've only been here for 5 minutes, guys. You know, I'm not gonna pretend or, you know, feel like I've been here for years and years like some have. But you know, I've experienced a little bit of this animosity today myself with a post I did on Instagram. I've since removed the post, but a particular person didn't like what I did. It was just a little joke. You know, those of you who have been watching my videos, you know, I don't focus on packaging in any aspect, really. You know, I'm not a packaging guy. I don't keep the packaging. I like the packaging, you know. I do look at it before I open something. You know, I appreciate the work and the dedication and the care that goes into making a package look immaculate, look beautiful, look Star Wars, you know. But I don't focus on it, you know, whenever I look at a figure. I'm more concerned about what's in the box, you know. But I get it, there are people who love packaging, but you won't find me talking about packaging on this particular channel. It's just not who I am. I'm more about the bread and butter of what's in that package, you know, the actual toy. But anyway, you know, it was a little thing, kind of annoyed me, it's kind of given me pause for thought on what I post on Instagram. I don't think I'm going to post anything directly on Instagram anymore, whether that be posts or reels or anything like that. I think, you know, I follow quite a few people on Instagram now, and I do comment on their individual posts, but I'm not gonna post anything on Instagram myself anymore as Force Fan Wales. I'll just keep on with this particular channel, really. I'm not hoping to get monetized at any point, in all fairness. You know, I'm just doing this as a hobby, as something to enjoy for myself. You know, If you like it, subscribe. If you don't, it's fine, you know. I'm not chasing it. And with the recent YouTube rules from February 2027 of being monetized, I just don't think I've got enough time in the world anyway to be, you know, posting endlessly, you know, just to get that benchmark of views or subscribers. You know, I'll play the long game. You know, if people like my stuff, you know, then great, all for it. But I'm not here. I'm not doing this as a career. You know what I mean? So I'll leave that be for now. And I am cutting it short because I think the neighbours have started doing a bit of DIY. So typical British summer. But I'll cut this short right now. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know, we're all in this as one. You know, we're all collecting for Star Wars. We're all loving Star Wars. We can have a joke and a laugh about it, but at the end of the day, let's not do personal attacks on people. You know, it's just bullying at the end of the day. And you know, we're in a world which needs to be better. We need to be better as a people. You know, as corny as that sounds, but there we are. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave that be for the moment. But I will come back to you shortly with more videos and a little bit more actual figures on screen, because I haven't done that for a little bit now. But catch you soon. Bye bye.